so good.
At a time like this, a leader is forced to grapple with things that are far greater than his or herself. Humility is called for as accountability is sought by the victims of a tragedy such as this one. Out of fear of this dangerous world that we live in and my determination to protect my own daughter and wife in our home and in our community, because of a false confidence that our community was above this and that we could be in full control, among many other misjudgments, I have opposed efforts to ban deadly weapons of war like the assault rifle used to carry out this crime. The time has now come for me to take responsibility for this failure, which is why I now call on the United States Congress to ban assault rifles like the one used by the sick perpetrator of this mass killing in my hometown of Lewiston, Maine. For the good of my community, I will work with any colleague to get this done in the time that I have left in Congress. To the people of Lewiston, my constituents throughout the 2nd District, to the families who lost loved ones, and to those who have been harmed, I ask for forgiveness and support as I seek to put an end to these terrible shootings. In the days to come, I will give everything I have to support this community's recovery. Thank you.
I'm a mom. I have kids who are 19 and 22. I don't think anyone wants to have a country. Can't say we're the land of the free and the home of the brave when we're afraid to send our kids to a bowling party. That's not a country where any of us can feel safe. By the way, if more guns made us safer, we'd be the safest country on God's green earth. There are basic common sense things that we can do to drastically reduce the 40,000 Americans every single year who are being killed by firearms. And most of those deaths are with people who have guns in the home. We also have to make more uniform laws so that individuals who are truly at risk, where there are red flags and signs, which clearly there were here, we've heard about them already, that those folks in those communities have a decent chance of being able to act on that kind of information and remove firearms from those individuals. This is the kind of protection that if people in Maine had known about it and the courts were primed with the right kind of law to be able to enact these sorts of orders, could have potentially made a real difference here.
Prime Minister Albanese, Ms. Hayden, it is wonderful to have you with us here today.
Last night, Lewiston became yet another community torn apart by senseless gun violence. Once again, routine gatherings, this time at a bowling alley and a restaurant, have been turned into scenes of horrific carnage. Doug and I mourn for those who were killed. We pray for those who were injured and grieve with so many whose lives are forever changed and impacted by what happened. The Biden-Harris administration will continue to provide full support to local authorities. And as we gather details, we must continue to speak truth about the moment we are in. In our country today, the leading cause of death of American children is gun violence. Gun violence has terrorized and traumatized so many of our communities in this country. And let us be clear, it does not have to be this way, as our friends in Australia have demonstrated. And with that, then,
Ms. Hayden, it is wonderful to have you with us here today. My wife, Evan, and I are delighted. Please take a seat. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin, for the protocol tip.
Again, we have 8 patients right now in our hospital. 5 of them are stable. 3 of them are in critical condition, and we're continuing to monitor their condition closely. It's certainly it's unprecedented insofar as the severity of the injuries and certainly the attack on the community. Our team is prepared to deal with mass casualty incidents as this one was, and in terms of the volume of patients that we saw of a very short period of time, that certainly rises to a level that we don't often see. And what made it more difficult was the fact that this is our community. A lot of our team members work and live in this community. They know people in this community. They had family members and loved ones and friends who may have been out in these establishments last night. So very difficult for them, but they persevered and took care of the patients that they needed to take care of. We drill on these types of scenarios, multiple times a year. All of the individuals I mentioned, especially the trauma surgeons, the emergency nurses, the operating room nurses, they drill on these types of situations, so they knew what to do and how to do it, and they handled it expertly. We are providing 24-hour coverage of mental health and emotional health support for all of our employees and our team members here, as well as partnering with community agencies, both locally and somewhat distant, for mental health and well-being of our patients. We had approximately 50 providers, nurses, respiratory therapists working tirelessly on the patients that we were seeing here. At one point had 7 patients in our ORs. We evolved our team of emergency providers, orthopedic surgeons, trauma surgeons, urologists and vascular surgeons,